I'm going to cough into the water glass.
Come on.
And then pass it to you. Does that work?
That's
I
gross.
feel like you need to sit up higher.
I think you need to slouch more.
No, I can't.
You should.
You should look chubby when you slouch like that. Not you, me. Just kidding.
You gotta suck in your stomach. Hi. Hi. Welcome to today's episode. So thank you and welcome to another episode of Co-Founders. This is Alex Mont-ros and we have Lisa. Hey.
Hi.
All right. Okay, good. We're good. Ready?
We're good. That's
All right.
my name.
We're ready.
Down.
And we have our amazing guests today. We have David and Christi Pittiglio. Thank you for joining.
Our pleasure.
Great friends of ours. And we're going to get into the meat of it. And in essence, you know, the episode or this episode is really going to be built around understanding your business. How do you operate within the family structure, challenges, successes, and all that good stuff. So with that said, one, let's introduce yourselves. What do you guys do? Give the audience a kind of background on what you guys do.
We're David and Christi Pittiglio.
Are you?
Yes, we are.
I'm
In the
David.
flesh,
I'm David.
yes.
Are you sure?
We own a bookkeeping firm.
Uh-huh.
We are nationwide, Streamline Business Solutions. And I'll let
Out
you
of
take
Phoenix,
from there.
Arizona. We have a staff of 30 people. And we've been doing this for about 10, 11 years now. So it's
Awesome.
been a great ride.
Very
been
cool.
blessed, yeah.
Yeah, and in full disclosure, you guys are our bookkeepers, and you guys do a phenomenal job.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate you very much.
And more importantly, you're our friend.
Friends, yes,
Yes,
first
even
and
better.
foremost. First and foremost. So with that said, how long in business now? It's been nine years.
It was 10 years on April 9th.
10 years.
Yes.
Wow. All
But
right.
Yes.
knowing your story, you weren't part of the business
Correct.
in the very beginning.
Okay, so
Correct.
walk us through kind of the origins of how you eventually got into business together.
Well, we started probably back in 2009, or I know we started back in 2009, and I absolutely knew nothing about running a business. And just kind of one client after another, I knew I was really good at my trade, but I had no idea how to run a business. So over the next couple of years, I just failed forward and learned how to hire employees and do certain things. And I wish I could say I knew how to be profitable, but that definitely wasn't the case until she stepped in 2015. And that's when really everything took off from there. I was good at the numbers, still am good at the numbers, and she has the knack for managing the people and really making sure things get done.
So I think it was, you started your business, correct, before you even met me. We
Correct.
hadn't even met yet in April. And a friend needed help with his bookkeeping, and that was just what he knew. He'd done it basically all his life since he was, whenever.
16,
I don't know. Yeah.
15.
And so we met in December of 2009, and in July of 2000
15,
what year did I get married?
12,
2000.
11.
We have no idea.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
We are married.
2011. So I remember I had switched jobs in beginning of 2010, and I've always had a real estate background, and my team at the time needed help with their financials. We were really big into the REO, or the bank-owned properties, and I introduced David to my boss, and I said, he needs help, that we have to pay all these bills and we're not tracking it properly. I don't know what to do. And so he stepped in and created a system, and that's really when it took off. So 1 month before our wedding in July of 2011, that's when we determined that, right? Yes. He quit his job. And I remember calling my mom saying, my future husband might be a little crazy. He just quit his job, and we're getting married in a month. And
And we decided to buy a house.
we decided to buy a house 2 months after we got married. And it was kind of a leap of faith. And we had our first daughter in 2012, 1 week before our first wedding anniversary, and I didn't go back to work. And it was a huge, he had to
that
figure
was
it
an
out.
eye-opener right there,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Losing her, security income,
Yeah.
and then me really having to, jump into it full force and saying, okay, this is no joke any longer, which is where I go back to, wishing I would have known how to be profitable and understand how to run a business before we made that leap.
How many, you see a lot of businesses in the back end, right, of their finances and everything. How common is that, do you feel, where a business owner actually believes they're profitable when they come to you,
Sure.
and you start digging around, you're like, wow, you got to change a lot.
Sure.
and you're really not profitable at all.
It happens quite often.
Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately, usually there's a pain point before somebody comes over to us and they recognize or realize that what they've been doing for quite some time isn't the way they want to continue running their business. So they kind of send up a SOS and a red flag and they say, help me out.
Yeah.
And that's where we help them take it to the next level. They still have to do a lot of the work. I can't make the changes for them, but I can provide them the tools to make those decisions with. And that's where we've seen many clients just go from not being profitable to really changing their family tree. Some of them are just really gung-ho. I mean, those that never understood how to read a financial statement now can regurgitate their numbers back to me, and I'm really not even coaching anymore, to the point where they're telling me about themselves or their household and their businesses. And that's the rewarding point for me to know that they still go do their trade, yet they utilize our information, and they're better off for it.
Well, I think one of the turning points with you helping them understand it too is I would listen to him on his calls, and I would say, you need to talk to them like you talk to me. A majority of our clients are real estate agents. I was a real estate agent. I have no idea if I had money in my bank account, I would go spend it. I didn't know that I had to save X amount for taxes or X amount for this. And granted, I didn't have a team. I was part of a team. But I think telling him to not so, in a different word, dumb it down, talk to me like I have no idea what you're talking about. And I think that's when it was a turning point for you to help people really understand it. And now he can talk to me at a higher level because I understand it more. But that's not their specialty. Their specialty is selling houses. They don't.
Or being a doctor or a dentist or attorney or whatever clientele that we manage currently. It's they just know they have to file taxes, and we're trying to bring them back into how do we look at a financial statement 12 times a year and actually run a business like a business. Some of our clients even get to the point where they start running their personal household like a business, like Christi and I do as well. It's we understand exactly what it takes to run our household. We understand our burn rates, and it just helps us progress and move forward for future goals and things like that. So we're very much on the same page because we understand what's happened and what's going to happen.
Do you just one more question, then I'll let you, because this is it's fascinating. It's fascinating. But
I'm just the pretty face in the corner.
Before I forget.
You are.
Oh man, go ahead. I forgot.
No, you go ahead.
No, I forgot.
Well, because yours
lost
is
my thought.
probably a much more.
No, I forgot. Now I need to. Yeah, because what?
I'm just.
What does that even mean? What does that mean?
I don't know. No, because really why we wanted to start this podcast is because we know the dynamics of running a business together. And like, you guys were probably the first couple we met when we had started our business, and we were instant best friends, which I think is amazing and wonderful. But you're really the first couple we met that was running a business together.
Sure.
And so we've come to you guys oftentimes for guidance. I remember having a phone call. I think you were trading off and on getting the nanny out of the house, but letting us know how it was. But how was that change for you as a family when you came into the business and all of a sudden it was more than just Christi managing the household? It's a different dynamic. So how was that in the beginning, and what have you learned, and how is it different?
Oh my gosh.
So we only have 30 minutes, and I just gave you a loaded question.
It's about leverage, right? We struggled in the beginning to find a nanny who that we trusted 100%. And we finally, I think we went through 4 or 5 of them before we finally found Jordan, who has been with us for almost 4 years. And once she started with us and that trust level was built, she changed our lives. And she's not only our kids' nanny, she's our house manager. So she does the grocery shopping, she does the
lots of different
homework. Everything that we would do if we were there during the day, she takes care of for us. And we've just put our trust in her, and she's so amazing. She actually works with Streamline Business Solutions now. So she's been with us since our little one was 2. She started kindergarten this year. So we talked collectively and we said, what are we going to do? We can't lose her. We adore her. Our kids adore her. She's like our kid. But she's actually stepped into the business, and she does data entry now. She wants to learn how to do the bookkeeping. But I think it's about finding the right person to take care of your household when you're not there.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's a game changer for us.
It was a big part. Initially, my focus was all on the business and what do we do. And then her now moving into the business and not having to worry about scheduling at home and taking care of the household we're both now full-time in the business, and we both concentrate. We have our goals in the business, and we already have expectations at home, and not having to just being able to manage the household from afar, yet still work together in our own lanes. It's a game changer.
We do a monthly calendar. It's literally on the fridge. I know you guys do chore charts, which is awesome. We're not quite there yet, but we will catch you
we'll get
on
you
that.
there.
Yes,
I
we
will get you there.
I love it. But we have a schedule on the board. We know that when we come home on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, meals are going to be prepped for us. They're ready to go. Jordan has certain days where she's at the house versus at the office. But those are days where we just know that we can come home and we don't have to do anything. Dinner's ready. The girls have their homework done. If we have to, like last week, there were a couple days we had to go. We came from the office back to home. We rotated in and out of the office, getting a couple more things done. But our girls know. I mean, we try to make it very clear to them that we're building a legacy for them. I mean, whether they want to be bookkeepers or not, or business owners when they get older, it's totally up to them. But we want to leave something and have something for them to take over at some point if that's what they want to do.
What were the biggest challenges you faced as a couple going into business together?
I would say that we fluidly actually went into it because I was oblivious, to be honest. She's far more forgiving, and she'll probably say it worked out well, but I know there are many days where
this is where we started,
help.
you guys. We literally shared an office when I first started working there, and he thought it was so amazing, and I was like, can we find some more space, please? But one of the main things is because he's on the phone all the time, like either talking to clients or doing whatever. I can't do that. I'm not. Is that horrible?
No, I can't do it either.
Should we edit that out?
No, don't edit it out.
I'm just kidding.
So he's on the phone all the time too, and I avoid the phone because I'm like, I have so much to do in my computer. And
You're scared of the phone.
I was sick one day and I coughed, and you would have thought that like I decided I was gonna like play
I'm like, why are you
guitar
coughing?
while he's on the
Why-
call. Like
why are you
I
coughing
got
right now?
shot a death look.
Why are you
and
coughing?
I very maturely slammed my computer down and marched
Yeah.
out of the room.
She was so mad. That's right.
We've had multiple conversations on this podcast now about how mature I am when we fight. It's
I
amazing.
love it.
But sharing an office, and we do sort of still. We'll probably. I mean, but it is you.
It's gotten better since I've left. The corporate gig.
But I just know when he's on calls, like I just.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have our own space now. We have a beautiful office space now, and it's great. But we just know. I mean, we determined long ago, like if we get in an argument and we're not agreeing about something with business, we don't. It's just like our adult kids and our little kids. We are a united front in front of our coworkers and our team. And then if we have to discuss something, we do it later. I mean, we haven't always been perfect. There have been times, and usually one of us will just say, we'll talk about it later. And then they all know what's going on. They're like, oh, mommy and daddy are fighting. But we know to just, I don't know. I stay in my lane, he stays in his. I know nothing about accounting, which really helps. You know what I mean? I can't help with that. And I don't like sales. I'm like you. I mean, I will talk to a client all day long if they call, but I don't want to pick up the phone and call if I don't have to. And
I don't try and run the team. I'm not good at it. It's just not my forte by any means.
He's a Disneyland dad when it comes to the team.
Oh,
Sure, you want that? Go ahead.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So, and it's great because there needs to be two sides to that running the business. I need my brain to be on financials and how we can better service clients in terms of helping them understand their numbers and things like that. And then Christy is just making sure deadlines get met, making sure the staff is happy, try and build that culture, maintain that culture, just keep everybody turning.
One thing that we do really well too is I think, that only take 5 minutes. Like, let's just do it this way. And he's really good about bringing me back and saying, you don't understand. Like, it doesn't take 5 minutes. Tell me what process you're looking to do, and I will help you figure out how long it's going to take. And I think that we work really well together when it comes like that because I am a go. Like, I'm a lot like Lisa. I just want it all done right now. And sometimes I don't realize that it's probably needs to take a little bit more time to think through things.
It's actually funny knowing you guys because there's times like we've had conversations and I'm like, oh my gosh, Alex, you're so much like David. And then there's times I'm like, oh my gosh, Alex, you're so much like Christy.
Yeah.
Like, we mirror and like I mean it's funny because there's times you say things and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're my husband, like stop. But we're so much alike in other respects. I don't know, but you have to have all of it, and
you really do.
It doesn't matter who has it. I think in the relationship, I think with our business, I would still only be working for 5 brokers if it was in my
Sure.
hands, because I spend a lot of time. Actually spend a lot of time like I want it to be perfect before I move forward. And Alex's favorite phrase with our business is like, "We'll just build the plane. We're building it as we're flying. Like it's fine. We don't have a wing. We'll
My favorite
figure
quote.
out how to get one, right?"
Favorite quote, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how Alex runs. So like, and I pull him, like he pulls me forward and I pull him back at I think just the right pace, which is why we've had success.
You have to even
you
if
may
you keep
disagree
yourself
with
out.
that,
No,
like
I
a little bit. That it's. I mean, I probably hold him back more than because I it's I don't know, but it's a good match. Like if we didn't have each other, like Alex would have moved forward so fast that like there wasn't enough structure behind, and then I would never have moved forward because I would be building like this amazing cathedral before I ever launched. So
Exactly.
yeah.
I think you have that good balance. We have that balance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think magic's the right word, but honestly, we flow so well together because we have the same end goals that we just do whatever it takes to get it done. And I don't have to question what she's doing. She doesn't have to question what I'm doing. It's just, check in once or twice throughout the day of what are you doing or what do you need, and vice versa. But we have our lanes and we stay in it. I've crossed it once and I'll never do it again.
True story.
True story.
We actually got. I wish it was whispered, and I wasn't supposed to do that.
You have to whisper. Do a, Christy, a stage whisper. You have to do a stage whisper.
Okay, great. We have an amazing business coach too that we hired back when I was actually pregnant for Grayson. So
Long time.
Almost 8 years ago. I remember when he came home and told me he hired a business coach. I'm like, we can't afford that. What are you doing? Why would you do that? And he has been huge for us. He jokes now that we're his kids, but if there are times where I feel like I can't get through to him or he's not listening to me, I'll call our coach and I'll say, or I'll email him and I'm like, I need you to get David to understand this. And whatever he does, his little magic, he gets David to understand, and David will think it's his idea. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I
Pretty
just told you
awesome.
that like 4 weeks ago.
I'm a genius. I get a lot of stuff
I
right.
know, but it's you also have to remember, like, I can tell you something over and over again. Same way, Glenn will tell me things. I'm like, that's so David right now, and I know now what he's doing. But it just having that third party is, I think, huge
Yeah,
too.
it's been a big blessing for us.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like clients in your team, and we've gotten some of that, kind of the structure of how you guys run the business. Do you sense that business owners, do they fear looking at their numbers? Is there a fear of knowing the truth?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think that is?
It's the unknown. It's the unknown for sure. And then once they get over that hurdle, it's a game changer for them. But initially, when you start working with people who it's just not their wheelhouse, and it's totally understandable, and maybe we haven't filed taxes in years, or maybe we don't even have financial statements, and we start just cleaning it up, we're there to be a solution to just say, let's not look backwards, let's clean it all up, let's get organized, and then let's start running at the same pace of each other. And taxes are never going to go away, so just get it handled. But it's the fear of the unknown. What could I owe? Well, let's find out, and then we can manage what you owe from there. Or if we're not making profit in our business, what do we need to do to get there? So let's start by looking at the facts, and then you can go from there.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they're embarrassed too. And one of my favorite sayings that he says to people is, trust me, this isn't the first time I've seen this. Like, I've seen it 1,000 times, and you're not the only one. And I think you help reassure them tremendously sometimes that it's not just them.
And it's exactly right. And we're not there to judge. I'm just here to help you get caught up. And it's a lot easier than it might sound, but it's not that difficult to get something organized and cleaned up and moving forward. You just have to be willing to do it as well.
Very cool. Yeah, because I know I've talked to, we all have a lot of friends and associates and acquaintances running businesses, and there seems to be a common, you start getting around numbers and there's fear sometimes. And I think I've even had that same, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to look, I just want to keep moving.
Sure.
And I know that that's never a good thing, right? You always have to take the time, but I've gone through those phases as well. And then I'm always like, well, is this, is this coming from a place of fear? Is this coming from a place of we're just moving forward and we're not taking the time to understand the numbers, where we're at? Do I have a conceptual, kind of number in my head where I think I'm already at, so I'm good?
Sure.
So I don't need to look. All those things are continue running through, and I've just through talking to other folks, I feel like that's a very common common thing. You know, people have ideas of what things are. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're off by a little bit, and sometimes they're way off.
Sure.
You know, which is probably scary I'm pretty sure you see that all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just talking about, having a GPS on a ship. If you don't check in every month, at least once a month, then you could be traveling in the just absolute wrong direction.
Yeah. That's why, you guys have been extremely helpful for us.
Mm-hmm.
We've been with them now, what, how many years?
3 years,
Has it
right?
been 3 years
3
at
years.
least?
Winston was a baby.
Yeah, 3 years, almost 3 years.
Yeah, he was brand new.
Yeah.
It was right
So
at the beginning.
it's been really insightful,
Yeah.
to have that.
Well, kudos to you guys for utilizing it.
Yeah.
And that's that's the hardest part is
Yep.
we can produce it, but if you don't pick it up and ask questions or reach out because you don't understand something, then I can't necessarily help you as much as I could if you take the initiative to say, white flag, I don't get this.
Yeah.
We can walk you through it.
Yeah.
Because trust me, there's somebody else just like you that has already been there, that did reach out, and now they've already passed you by because they now understand a better way to look at things.
Right. Yeah. That's really insightful. I know we're getting kind of close to wrapping up. So this is our segment, optimizing. What is this freaking thing called anymore? What is?
Should we edit that out?
No, I think
No.
leave that in.
Okay.
Leave it in.
Yeah. So. You gonna say?
No,
it?
that's yours.
So welcome to the
Wheelhouse.
Optimizer segment of our episode. This is where we share some tips, some guidance, some, I don't like to call it tricks. I always say tricks, but it's not a trick, trust me. And something that's going to be of use for you, the audience, to really implement into your business, your family, and so on. And David and Christi are going to share something around the wheelhouse of finance. If you guys can share it, that would be awesome.
There's probably a couple of things that have definitely propelled us personally as business owners and as well as some of our clients who take the initial step as well. Probably the best thing is understanding and knowing our personal household numbers. It's a game changer to understand what the groceries cost and what the shopping habits look like, or even what gymnastics costs look like, for our girls. And flying blind isn't any fun. So, that's as easy as probably looking at bank statements and things like that and gathering just kind of an idea of what the household normally spends. If we take that same number and add it to our business's break-even number, so understanding what it costs to run the household and understanding what it costs to run the business on a monthly basis, you come up with a number, call it 50 grand, I don't know. Once we know that number, it changes us at the business to say, we need 6 more contracts. I need to do this activity this week to make sure that we can meet that $50,000 minimum for both our business and our household. And if it's $50,000 this month, it's $50,000 next month, and most likely it's $50,000 a month after that. And just having that knowledge will allow us to focus on things at the business so that we can make sure that our minimums are at least met. And of course, that's no profit. That's not, Disneyland trips and things like that. But at least knowing that, I can go to sleep at night really healthy, knowing what it takes. There's no more blindness. The other big thing for us is not having any debt. It's been a huge blessing for us to be able to focus on having zero debt, except for our mortgage, of course. And just being able to now focus and build. So that's a big thing. There's lots of different tax advantages too that most people don't ask the questions or don't understand. And there's practices of setting up entity structures and taxed differently. And everybody's a little bit different, but taxes, they come around the same time every year. So it's just like Christmas, it's the 25th of December. So, and taxes come around too. So let's not wait till the last minute to figure things out. Let's be proactive so that we can make decisions on tax planning, whether it be paying your kids a salary or purchasing a new vehicle. I'm not saying go do these things.
Expand on that for a minute, the paying your kids a salary, because that's something I don't think a lot of people probably understand or know about.
Yeah, many people in the business have different, tax structures that, may pay their kids a salary, which is a business deduction. Again, I definitely consult with your CPA. Don't go out and start paying your kids a salary. And it reduces the net profitability of the business, of course, and and that therefore reduces your tax liability. There's purchasing a vehicle. I mean, there's so many different options of things you can do, funding retirement plans, that many people in the real estate industry have professional image where we're talking about like hair and nails and clothing and things like that, because they're always out and about selling their product. So again, don't take this for go do these things right away. I would consult with a tax professional. But there's a lot of tips and tricks if you just reach out and ask the right questions, so that you can focus on not having to, manage those numbers.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. And at this point in time, we're going to wrap up. And Lisa, you're the.
No, and thank you guys for being here. We had to have you come in from Arizona to be on the show.
I know.
We're so
thanks
happy
for flying in, guys. We appreciate
so
it.
happy.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of Co-Founders, and we look forward to seeing you next time.